It's so funny. Me and wife was talking the other day about content, and she knows I get excited about when it comes down to just talking about new tech or accessories for nostalgia. Me, I just love the convenience of those nostalgic classic memories and just keeping it alive in new ways. Now I'm going to take it back further for me and wifey's conversation a few weeks back, even further. I got wind about this new handheld, and it took me all the way back to like that 2000 era. This right here is the Anbernic RG slide, yo. Like this is, yeah. I've seen lots of videos about this and reviews, so that I know that there's like specs and everything out there, so I'm not gonna go through all that. Mostly referring back to the PSP. And I'm sorry, but I have to give a shout out to those slider phones back in the day. Those slide phones, like the LG Expression, the LG Envy, other phones that goes up vertical or slide sideways, like the Sidekick. Y'all remember those? And then there was the chirps and stuff. Oh yeah, definitely. And I believe Sony came in, and besides the whole PSP, was this, I believe it's called the Ericsson. But overall, this may be a larger size, and probably the weight is probably heavier, but I have to give support to the humble beginnings because I feel that this is about to start something awesome. And I just didn't get one. I got wifey one too, because we was both hyped up so much because she was like, yeah, get it. But I had to surprise her with one, and I just didn't get her just one. I also got her a case too, so that way she have a case. So I'm gonna hook up both of these, and she's very excited to see this thing, just to be able to utilize this thing. Because usually I be getting her when she says games, I be getting her all types of like handhelds and stuff. So it's just, I'm just like that. So walk with me as I set this up. Remember, this is not a how-to. This is just showing you showing how I'm setting this thing up. Cause I got a library of games, and I got us both some SD cards, and I'm just gonna crack this thing open, and let's just see how, I'm just gonna walk through this whole setup thing and see how it is. All right, you guys, let's get started. What is going on, you guys? Your boy Famous Kid Video Game Entertainment. And before we go any further, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. Click like, subscribing. It's always a big help. Now, let me break this down real quick, okay? I'm going to show you the website because it's just more easier for me to explain this whole situation. Now, what I got is the one with no SD card, okay? That means that I'm going to be installing my own games and going through the whole thing. Once you get to the whole Android part, it mostly have all the emulators downloaded for you. It's already on there. Now, you can take some of them off and update your own, do your own thing. But if you're a type of person that you just don't know how to do it, I totally understand. Nothing wrong with that. Just go ahead and get the one with the SD card, and that way you good. Just go ahead and just kind of look it up. You'll find some stuff out there. Everything is mostly easy on these things when it comes down to it. Because this video is not like a tutorial finna show you how to install everything. I am going to be using EmulationStation, so stick around. I'm going to have my own library of games, and I'm going to start doing EmulationStation. I am going to show you the launcher real quick on here, but I'm using EmulationStation. Okay, let's do it. If you guys usually follow the channel, then you know my style. I like to go ahead and format all my SD cards I get in. I format them, and then when I set up the device on Android, I like to let it do a second format on the device itself. That way, everything, when I'm transferring files, everything runs smooth. Now that it's been a minute since you guys chill with me going through the whole process of installing ESDE or EmulationStation front end, okay? Today is the day that usually it's all about support. So in order to get EmulationStation, you gotta support them in some type of way, all right? You can go through the Patreon, or you can go through the Samsung Galaxy Store. It costs about like $6 in US. I support them, and I go ahead and I go through the Patreon to support them. And once you get that, they'll email you the latest version of EmulationStation when it drops. It's just supporting is everything these days, and that's how we just keep making content and everything else. So once you do that, once you go ahead and do that, and you can just go down and just see how everything looks if it's your first time. As you turn it on, you're gonna be presented with a few questions, just basically a self-explanatory: your time, date, language, all that good stuff. You're gonna sign into your Wi-Fi, just do all the necessary stuff to get to your desktop. All right. right, now check this out. Before you even get to your desktop, check it out. It's downloading all the emulators for your device. You ain't even signed into your Play Store yet. You ain't signed into your email. You ain't do none of that yet. It's all set up for you. That's what I'm talking about. Then once you get through, you're just gonna push continue or whatever, and then you're just gonna go right to that desktop. Now I know there's technical names for the Android home screen or home screen launcher or primary interface, but I'm gonna call it desktop. All right, those of you that already got an SD card with all the games on it, you all set up. All you gotta do is scoot over it and look, all your emulators is here. And even for us who don't have a SD card and just want to just do their own thing, but all your stuff is like right here. Check that out. Here's just word of advice. Just make sure you just go to each of the apps and set everything up, making sure that it's following where your game paths is, and just making sure that your button mapping is all set up. Okay, once you sign into the Play Store, you can go ahead and just check everything, make sure everything's updated too from the Play Store, and that way you have a fresh update of the app that you use. Majority of the apps up on here can be used just up on RetroArch. I had recently did a video on how to set up RetroArch to make sure that you get the best gaming possible and having fun. PPSSPP, I recently heard that there was an update for that, so just make sure you sign in on the Play Store and just go ahead and update all the good stuff, all the goodies, and making sure that all your stuff is running tip-top shape. Right here, if you just slide down using the touchscreen, you can see that there's a little settings right here, and there's different ways you can just change the controlling pattern, your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all your good stuff, and also your launcher. Your launcher's right here. You can just push that and it starts up your launcher. This first part right here is saying the same thing I said earlier. Go through the apps and check your setup. If you did, press confirm. I'm not using this. I'm going to cancel. If you want to scan your ROMs, then just press select tools and scan ROMs on the TF card, and your game should pop up. Now, box art and your entire library of games, I'm not sure, and this is just for the folks who just got their own SD card and they name their own ROM folders. But if you got the Anbernic SD card, all of it's gonna pop up, box art and all. Now, and let me add this. This launcher, I didn't dig into it completely. This is just from observation and a couple of handhelds years ago. Things might have changed. If so, please be a big help in the comments and help the others. With that being said, if you're just using this launcher, then hey, we're done. All right, I do appreciate it. From gamer to gamer, I appreciate you watching. All right, the road to my real setup. But first, a desktop facelift. Now that looks awesome. If you want to learn how I do this, I'll leave a link in the description. Earlier you saw I already formatted my SD card on PC. Now I want to format it on the RG slide itself. In some cases, as soon as you put your SD card up in there, this question might pop up. So it might actually, do you want to be able to transfer your files and through your SD card? And of course you want to say yes. So that's what I'm going to pick and choose. Once it does that, you're all set. But the second way, you also want to go either to your file app, or I'm going to my files right now, but you can also go through your settings. Then you want to go ahead and format it from there. So right here, I just found my SD card and I want to format it. Okay, so I'm just going to format it. That way it'll be all set up. Usually I like to go ahead and either power down or put my device to sleep to take the SD card out so I can take it to my PC, because I need to add some files to the SD card to get things started. So now we over here on my PC. So I had to change the name a little bit shorter because after I put the SD card back into my PC, it just said Android, and of course I had gave it a name, but I had to shorten up the name. So yeah, I'm just gonna call it slide to sub. So you know what that means, slide to subscribe, you guys. That'll be a big help. All right, now that I got these files right here, we need to create two new folders. Okay, so we're gonna create two new folders. Okay, one is ESDE, second ROMs. It's got to look just like that. Okay, it's got to look just like that. That's what it is. Now at this point, if you guys already went through the steps and went ahead and supported the Patreon and stuff like that, you should either get a file from the email, or if you have the app, then go ahead and go through the app from itself, from the Samsung store or whatever you guys however you guys get it. Because I'm with the Patreon, I got mine through my email, so I'm gonna go ahead and just copy mine to my download. One more thing I wanted to add while I go ahead and take this file and go to and put it inside the downloads folder is that at the time this video came out with a brand new update of ESDE, or EmulationStation Desktop Edition. I'm twisting my tongue here, and I haven't got a chance to. Now this is going to be the first time I'm actually going to be able to look at some of the brand new features on here. So stick around. We're gonna be peeping these things out. All right, time to go ahead and pop the SD card back up in there. Once you get it back on, navigate to your folders app, find SD card, and then go to your download. Then now right here is where I just installed this one to my download. So it's time for me to go ahead and open it up. It's gonna ask you a question because it's unknown app, so you got to go ahead and accept that so you can go ahead and turn it on. Of course, we want to go ahead and trust this right here, and then we'll go ahead and install it right here. Give it a bit, and now it's installed. Okay, at this point in time, I'm just going to go back to the desktop. Okay, and I went ahead and I just dragged my ESDE app towards the front, so it won't be no problem. And then now we're just going to go ahead and get started. So from the beginning, you're going to see this part of the menu right here, and it's just going to begin setup. Okay, now you got to go ahead and accept the permissions, and I already accepted. Then we're going to start with our directory, which we already made. So we're going to find that folder ESDE in our SD card. If you have it, then it'll just make it on. If you do this, if you just click past here, it's going to just do it on its own, like from the thing. So but I need to find my folder. Okay, and I found mine, and then I'm just going to go ahead and accept that and allow. And then same thing with the ROMs. Remember how I told you how to do the ROMs? It's the same thing. So we're just going to go ahead and go back, and we found our ROM folder that we made on the SD card. Everything's set. Now we're just going to ask them to create them. Now remember, if you saw a couple of videos back, I already have this stuff already done, but I just wanted to show you just in case it's your first time. So you're going to create the folders so that way you can put your ROMs in. Then your setup is complete. Then you're just going to put I understand. Make sure you read through everything. Okay, then it's going to go through, it's going to set up making its folders for your SD card, and that way all you got to do is put your ROMs up in there. Now you're going to be presented with this particular information right here. Now since you don't have no games up in there, it's going to ask you, do you want to create some information inside of each of the folders, so that way you know what type of ROM files to put up in there. I'm going to say create. Once you create, then this part right here will proceed, because it's just want to make sure you're okay with everything. Okay, once everything's good, we're just going to go ahead and just close everything out. So just push OK and just close it out so you can get your SD card out. I like to go ahead and completely power down my device and then come back to my PC. Okay, now that we're back up over here, now we have everything. Now check this out. Now notice that the fact is that we made our two folders, and we're going to go right here to our ROM. Now we have all of our ROM folder. But now remember when they ask you like, hey, do you want to put information into the folders? Okay, so if you go like right here, just giving you prime example, you see this right here, this actually like gives like information. Don't forget to put your BIOS. Your BIOS is very, very important. Okay, in this case, your BIOS files can go anywhere. So in this case right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it bio, which will make it easier for me. So all my bio stuff, I'm just going to have it to where it's going to direct right here. So that way, when I go into the emulation station itself, or RetroArch, when I start setting things up, be right there. That way it'd be easier for me to find. Now, once we get to this part right here, now I already have a set of ROMs, which I had said early in the beginning of the video. And all you have to do is just drag your ROMs into the corresponding folders. Okay, if you got ROMs, drag them to corresponding folders. As far as like your scraper, you can scrape your stuff if you already have Screen Scraper. I did a video over there on Patreon if you don't know how to do it. If you're already set up with Screen Scraper, you can download all your box art through the device itself. You just got to sign in to your account of Screen Scraper, and you can go ahead and download your box art as normal. The comparison to the two is, in my opinion, it's just much faster to do it all in one go on PC. Moving forward, if your ROMs and BIOS is already on your SD card, let's go back to the device. At this point right here, I'm pretty much set. I got everything I want. I can test all my emulators. Everything is just ready to rock. And now, at this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and like plug up this controller, which that way I'm just gonna zoom in on everything so you guys can see everything. Okay. And now I'm just gonna go to Emulation Station. This part right here is where I'm gonna basically just like, I just really want to test out the menu and test out some of the new features that's up on here, because I hear it was mostly like dealing with some things that's in the menu. Okay. So now I got all my emulator set up and everything, all my games up in here and stuff. And I'm just gonna get this thing a facelift. Press start, and then what I'm gonna do is go to UI settings, and then I'm gonna go to theme downloaders. Let's change that. All right, this is just basic one. I like this one right here. According to what I've been hearing, I don't know if this is just, I'm just gonna kind of mess with the menu just a tad bit. I like this one. This is kind of basic, and I have this on a couple of other my other handheld, but I never messed with like tampering around like with like the style of it. Let's put it that way. Let's mess around with the style of it. Now check that out. So able to, when you go into UI settings, you can mess with the theme variant, okay? And you can kind of change some stuff as you messing around with it. So to me, just tamper around with some things and just see if you can switch some stuff around. I don't think it's nothing wrong. That's all I've been doing. It's just kind of like messing around with certain colors, messing around with the size and stuff like that. And you can kind of change this stuff up if you want to. So to me, it's just something that just to fit your liking. Now also what I'm hearing about this this whole thing is going ahead and for the startup view. So I was just like, okay, wow, so I can actually start up, the app comes on, I can go ahead and start it up with one of my favorite emulators to start off with. So, and I'm a big fan of TurboGrafx 16. Now it just goes right to my games if I wanted to. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just put it back and I'm just gonna have it just start up with my second favorite system, Sega Genesis. That's where I'm gonna set mine up at. So when I turn this thing on and everything, or start up the app, it'll just rock Sega Genesis and not just going to the games. I just wanted to just go right to the emulator on the front page. But with this got this new thing called the game importer. So all you have to do is just go to either, once you click on that, you can do Android games and then like your apps. So I just thought that's super sweet. I want to start off with just the Android games, keep everything at default, and I'm just gonna let it just look for all my stuff up in here. Then I'm just gonna select all my games that I want to go up on here. So if it looks like it's one of those games like Antstream, I feel like that's just an app. I'm just gonna pick out some of the Android games that I had got, and I got plenty of them. This is probably just only a few. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and go from there, and then I'm just gonna go back so it could just go ahead and just set that up. Now it just reset it. So let's look for our Android games. Let's look for Android stuff. Found it. So we have our Android games right here, and now we're all set. But I hear I'm able to get like box art and stuff like that, or type of like screenshots or something like that. So I want to go ahead and try to look that up and see if I can find that. So I'm gonna go to scraper, and then I'm just gonna do it normally. I know there's other ways of doing this stuff, but I'm just gonna go to like either like screen scraper, or I'm just gonna go to the game's database, and I'm just gonna go from there. Okay, I'm just gonna push start and just making sure that everything is like contained. That way everything looks nice. But other than that, I'm just gonna go down and just go back and just just see what happened. So it is finding some stuff, so which is super cool. All right, so we got a few of them. Some of them's missing. I'm not really tripping out about that, but I really don't see too much. I forgot to take out DuckStation. I'm gonna redo it that way I can take out DuckStation, because that's considered to me as an emulator. So I'm gonna put that towards that, because this is just games. So I'm gonna switch that up in a sec. But I'm also gonna just change up the Steam. Let me just change up the Steam really fast. All right, so now I'm able to see some of the box art that's here, like screenshots or something like that. I just got like whatever. I'm just pretty much as cool with this. This is perfectly fine. And also I was able to get my emulators all in one spot, which is good. And that's good. And I didn't even have to download the faces of these. This automatically just came like this. So I didn't have to do anything. Everything worked out pretty well. And then I got my Android apps, and like, okay, so I got my Android arcade and stuff, and I got the calendar, and everything else I need. This is pretty awesome, and that's what I just wanted to do right here with this one, because I wanted to kind of just tamp around, because pretty soon I want to go ahead and get like a little music player, and then I want to have like a spot to where watching movies too. So there you have it. I wanted to add this for for a second. If you guys follow the channel, especially from the beginning, you know that I have a very large collection of video games. I am a big fan of collecting games. I can play some of these handhelds and it just inspires me to go ahead and start getting more games and collecting games, because to me, there's nothing like playing on the original console. I love these handhelds, but I still love playing on those original consoles, playing those classic games, even some of the games up on newer systems, like, you know, getting some of these games digitally up on like PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox and stuff like that. I do love playing these retro games in all types of ways. And even if you even notice some of the Android games that I have, like Shining Force from Android, and and I just love it, and it plays with the controller and everything. If you've never been a collector and you ever wanted to start, I just truly believe that it's just fun if you ever tried it, especially like if you're young and you just thinking about just going into nostalgic and stuff like that. I encourage that. That's so awesome. I know that these handhelds comes out with like so many other games on it, of course, but at the same time, there's nothing like getting games. I'm listen, however you get your stuff is however you get your stuff. That has nothing to do with me, okay? But at the same time, and when you see a game up on here, let's put it that way, I own it. And it's been half the time, if you guys have followed the channel, you see that sometimes I put the game next to it, or I'll pull out an old console or something like that, because I still love talking about that stuff. I had to say that the comparison between me talking about the handhelds and talking about the console games that I do have, I don't get that many views on there. When it comes down to the console games and the old games or physical games that I talk about, is that gonna stop me from coming back with the Fireman Retro Show? No, I'm definitely gonna do it, because it's all about something that I love. I love this stuff. I love playing these old games. I love playing stuff on these handhelds, and I build PCs and stuff like that. But I love playing old school games, and it's something that I love. Even if I don't get that many views on those retro games or playing those physical games, I mean, I feel that the fact is, it's the love and the passion for it. I have videos that I don't have that many views on, and that's fine. But you know what? When I made them, I enjoyed playing those games. I enjoyed playing some of those nostalgic games or handhelds, or, you know, stuff like that, or even trying to unlock some stuff or fix something or rebuild something. I have a passion for it, and I do love it. I just want to just kind of add that, because I just not only just love these type of handhelds and stuff like that, which is really brings back so much nostalgic, but I still love those physical consoles. And I hope you guys stick with me and come back to the Fireman Retro Show. I'm really wanted to try to bring that back, because I've been super inspired to really bring that back and really have a great time. I love Fireman and Retro Show, and if you guys haven't watched it, it's on the channel, and I haven't made it in like a few years, but please, you guys, to subscribe, and I hope you guys get likes, and I hope you guys check out the Fireman Retro Show. I used to like to talk about different subjects, but always kept it neutral, never talked about anything bad or anything like that, and just really just have fun with comedy. Some of the stuff I did skits and everything else, but I just kind of wanted to just add all this into the last end, because I feel sometimes I will say a big story in the beginning, but those of you who sticked around this far, I truly appreciate it. All right, you guys, I'm out, yo. And from gamer to gamer, thanks for watching.